This is Leon Byner.
9 to 10, let's open up the lines again, and the member for Waite, Sam Duluk, has called in. Good morning, Sam.
Good morning, Leon. Leon, just following on from, I think, the very good interview with Nick you just had, we've seen parliaments right across the country, I think, handball their responsibilities to the bureaucracy. And just this week in State Parliament, in the lower house, we've actually passed a 6-month extension to the Emergency Management Act without really much of a debate.
Why?
Great questions. It was put up by the government. The member for Frome had an amendment supported by the crossbench to extend the Management Act for a further 3 months, not 6. That wasn't supported by the opposition either. And so we've
what was the compelling data that they were given or argued that actually justified what they did?
Great question, Leon. Nothing provided to the Parliament. In the committee stage, they are the exact questions they asked the attorney. Nothing provided. And in fact, I don't even think the government or cabinet per se even contemplated a 3-month extension. They automatically went for a 6-month extension. And we've seen right across the country, I think, parliaments being handball their responsibility. In Victoria, their parliament has barely met. And I think that is a real concern for the institutions of Parliament and our democracy and those freedoms that we are meant to safeguard and pay to safeguard. And I think there are many Australians, and we've seen this more in Victoria, of course, where citizens going about their business are being intimidated for holding views that are contrary to the status quo at the time. And
all right, so let me explain. In the lower house, the Marshall government has the numbers, right? So clearly Marshall wanted it, and he told his party, this is the way you will vote. Wasn't a conscience matter, so they did. Is that the interpretation here? Look,
that's an interpretation, and in fact, very few members actually spoke on the debate on Tuesday morning or Tuesday afternoon in the Parliament, in fact. And I hope in the upper house, perhaps one of the members of the crossbench can pick up a notion to extend the Management Act for only a further 3 months. Let's come back in December.
This has to go to the upper house, does it?
It does. It'll go in the next sitting fortnight.
All right. So the extension doesn't happen until the upper house say yes.
Correct.
Well, then I think the debate's got to be show us the data, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Show us the data. And we all know that our public health officials and SAPOL have done a tremendous job to date. But we know South Australia is not Victoria. We don't have really active cases. And right now, people are making decisions heading into Christmas, into the new year, not to participate in community as we used to.
I don't see the harm of having 3 months instead of 6, at which the end time of 3, if there
we can come back.
Yeah.
Parliament's sitting in December, Leon. We can come back in December, and we can look at new data. Because I don't want to see, for example, as already has, the pageant being postponed. Mad March not happening in Adelaide because of so-called COVID restrictions. Let's look at the data, and if the data shows that we can hold these events as we love and do and want, well, let's do it. Let's not hide behind, this Emergency Management Act.
All right. Are there any members of the Liberal Party in the lower house who share your views but just haven't said? I'm not going to ask you to name them. I'm just interested.
Look, I think there are a lot of members of Parliament, in the Liberal Party. I think in the Labor Party. I think across all parliaments, especially I know talking to some of the Victorian Liberal MPs, especially where they see sort of many civil liberties being slowly eroded. And the real question is, once we hopefully get out of this COVID pandemic, what rights aren't we going to bring back to the table that we automatically think a normal course of our daily lives? And I think that's a big debate to be had as well.
All right. The member for Waite, Sam Duluk. Interesting, isn't it? Alex at Birdwood, what do you make of that?
I'm out.